Why I ask that question is because if we have a blind tasting, how many kind of different preferences, how many different type of characteristics of the whiskey. So how do we define if I have a blind tasting?
In terms of the character, how would you look at the character of whiskey?
Yeah, characteristic. Sure. Can I define by region?
I think it'd be tough. I'll go through how I might look at it, and there's so many different ways, Sammy. So the first thing you should do when you're at any tasting is you should look at the color. The color is not going to guarantee to tell you what's going on, but it might give you a hint. If something is really dark, a little bit ruby, it could be from a sherry cask. It might not, but it could be. If something is quite pink, wine or port. So that's going to give you an idea already before you've even looked, just looking at the glass. The next thing you could potentially do is you could put your hand on top of your tasting glass, keep it tight and give it a shake. When you do that, bubbles will form. As you let the whiskey out, how long those bubbles stay there will give you an indication of the alcohol, the ABV of that whiskey. If that whiskey is 40%, those bubbles they'll just be gone straight away. It's been chill filtered, it's low alcohol. If that whiskey is cask strength, when you shake it, the bubbles will stay on the surface for a while because it has a natural oiliness, which creates a surface tension. So already, we've done two things before we've even done it. Now we can smell it. So the combination of smell and taste, and that's going to be so many different markers, in terms of both the texture, the oiliness of that whiskey, and then the aromas and flavors that it gives, all the way into the finish. And that's very much a personal thing. I can't tell people how they taste. I can tell people what I think a lot of whiskeys taste like in terms of being archetypally for that style. So, if you're looking for an archetypal Islay whiskey, I'd be looking for something that's a little bit oily, and I'd be looking for something that has that peaty smoke, but is also particularly defined by what we'd say in the UK was TCP. It's a medicinal ointment, that particular type of iodine-like flavor. That's not necessarily true for every single whiskey from Lafroig, for instance. But yeah, there are things and different whiskies that I'd be looking for in my taste and mouth. The key to nosing and tasting, as far as I'm concerned, is not to rush it. So the way I like to do it, you might have seen this before on the internet, is effectively pick up your glass, quick smell, take it away, okay? Then again, longer smell. And then finally, a really long smell, and at the same time, take it in, but hold it in your mouth just for a few seconds. Hold it in there. Don't swallow it immediately. Allow the whiskey to run around all the different surfaces of your mouth. You will get different flavors and different profiles, particularly when it comes to things like peat and minerality and sweetness. They will exhibit themselves in different places around your mouth. So it's quite important just to hold it into your mouth, and then you swallow it, and then obviously you can assess what you're getting retronasally through your nose and your mouth, orally through your mouth, and then finally as it goes down your throat in terms of the finish.